Okay, today we continue to try to finish the Lecture8 AO7 version 2. So we already talked about some segments. Um, Today we continue to talk another segment which is often used in message. This segment is called patient visit segment. Also, we called PV1. In fact, we also have PV2, but PV2 is supplemental segments. It just provides supplemental information for PV1. PV1 segment is used by registration and patient administration applications to communicate information on account or visitor specific base. The default is to send account name data. When they send the account name data, it's a little different from sending the visitor level data. For visitor name data, for the 51 fields in the PV1 segments, the visitor indicator must be valued to be V. In fact, the value of the fifth one fields affects the name of data being sent on the PV1, PV2, and another segments. That's a part of the associated PV1 hierarchy. So in fact, this is just to show the attributes of PV1 segments. From here, you guys found we totally have 52 fields in PV1 segment. For the first fields, if you guys see it's the set ID, it's similar to other segments. The second field is the patient class. For this patient class, we will talk more about in details in next slides. Also, there are different information such as admission type, prior patient location, attending doctor, referring doctor, consulting doctor, hospital service, and also we have some other information, for example, the patient type, visitor numbers, and so on. So for this kind of things, I suggest you guys try to go to the document I upload on the Canvas to understand them in detail. I will just explain some items which are used often. So the first things we talk about is the set ID field. In fact, for this field, it contains the number that are used to identify this transaction. The same for the other segment. For the first occurrence of the segment, the sequence number should be set to be 1. For the second occurrence, the sequence number should be set to be 2, and so on. So this is the easily understood. For the patient class field, this field is used to by the system to categorize patient by site. In fact, these values come from the use-defined table 004. I just list the table here. If you guys can find this table, we have 2 columns here. One is value, one is the description. For the value here we have E, I, O, P, R, B. So different letters have different meaning here. For the E means emergency. Okay, that means the patient belong to emergency. The I mean a inpatient. O means the outpatient, and the P means pre-admit, and R means recurring patient. B means obstetrics. So this kind of value is very important because they will tell the system whether it's emergency or not, whether this is an inpatient or outpatient. So if from one computer, one terminal to send to other terminal, so other side can be based on this kind of values to determine the class of the patients and send them to the correct agency, correct department. Assign the patient location is another field. This field, in fact, contains the patient's initial assigned location, or the location to which the patient is being moved. We have several components here. For the first component, generally we can be the nurse station for inpatient location, or clinic department, or even can be a home for location other than inpatient. That's the first component. Generally, if we want to cancel a transaction or discharge a patient, the current location should be in this field. If the value exists in the fifth component, it substitutes the value in PV1 40 bed status. That means 41 we tried to find here. Okay, that's bed status. So the admission type field, in fact, this field is used to indicate the circumstances under which the patient was or will be admitted. This field will be adopted the value from the table 007 admission type. Let's try to go to the table 0027. We try to find the table here. The table is here. Okay, so let's search. We try to search the 0007. I think it's this one. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's additional admission type. Okay, so we have several admission type here. There is accident, elective, emergency, labor and delivery, newborn, routine, urgent. Okay, so this can be represented by different character here. Okay, so this is 007 table. So also I list on I copied on the slides, but the slides is just the 4 values. In fact, it's not enough. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 value here. Okay. So let's talk about the prior patient location. In fact, this field is the contain the pre-patient location if the patient is being transferred. For example, first this person is in the clinic office. They need to transfer to other department for example, radiology or something. So we need to fill the prior patient location would be the clinic office. If it's a new patient, the old location will be in fact it's useless. So generally we will not fill the old location address there. If a value exists in the fifth components, it substitutes the value in PV40 bed states, the same as the previous we talk about. So another is the attending doctor field. That is easy to understand. Just provide the attending physician's information. Multi-name and identifiers for the same physician may be sent. The field sequences are not used to indicate multiple attending doctor. The legal name must be sent in the first sequence. If the legal name is not sent, then repeat delimiter must be set in the first sequence. Depending on the local agreements, either ID or the name may be absent in this field. In fact, this value is the 0010. We also can find the 0010 from the attachment. See here, that's the 0010. That means the no suggested value here. Okay, that's for the attending doctor. So another field we talk about is the referee doctor. In fact, this is similar to the attending doctor. The only difference is just containing the referring physician's information. This value also can be specified by the table 0010. In fact, this so logistic value there. So that means you can set any value there. The consulting doctor field is same as the attending doctor field and the referee doctor field. The just difference is that this field contains the consulting physician's information. Also, the value is set by 0010. Let's talk about the hospital service field. In fact, this field is used to contain the treatment or type of surgery that the patient is scheduled to receive. If the trigger events is A0 or 01, A02, A1, A14, A15, generally this field will be required. So the value is specified by table 0069. You guys can be found that what's the okay, let's try to find the 0069. Let's try to find the value hospital service. Okay, see here we have several service here. For example, we have CAR means cardiac service, med means medical service, PURE means pulmonary service, SIR means surgical service, URO means urology service. So different values were specified in this table. So let's go to the another seems the temporary location fields. And this fields contains the location other than the assigned location required for a temporary period of time. If this value exists in the 15th components, it subsets the value in PV1 for the bed status. So this kind of things that's a little easy to understood. So let's go to the admit source field. In fact, this field indicates where the patient was admitted. The value is from the table 0023. In fact, we have 9 value here. For example, 1 means physician referral, 2 means clinic referral, 3 means MO referral. Also 4 means transfer from hospital, 5 means transfer from a skilled nursing facility, and number 6 means transfer from another healthcare facility. Also 7 is emergency room, and 8 is court no enforcement, and the 9 is information not available. So this means the admit source. That's the PV1 segment. Another segment also we want to talk about is NK1 segment. This segment is provide the information next to the kin associate parties information. In fact, any associated parties can be identified with these segments. If a person or organization fulfills multiple contact roles, for example, if the patient is an emergency contact and next of kin, it is recommended to send in NK1 segment for each contact role. That's listed in the field 7. So this just show the attributes for the NK1 segments. The total fields it has is 77. Okay. Also, we have different information listed here. So let's just simple explain this kind of fields. So the first set ID is the same as the PV1 segment. That means this field contains the number that identifies this transaction. The same as the PV1. For the first currency of the segment, the sequence number should be 1. For the second one should be 2, and just so on. For the name field, the name field in fact is contain the name of the next of kin associated party. Multi-names or for the same person are arrowed by the legal name must be sent in the first sequence. If the legal name is not sent, then the repeat delimiter must be sent in the first sequence. The relationship is one important fields in the NK1. Okay. In fact, this field is contains the actual personal relationship that the next of kin associated party has to the patient. In the table 0063, they provide some values for the relationship for relationship. This example include, for example, is brother, sister, mother, father, and so on. For you guys to have a basic idea, let's go to the table 0063. See here. Okay, let's try to find 0063. Oh man, it's so long. Oh man. Okay. See here. There are bunch of value here. There is, for example, its brother use the BRO. For child, use the CHD. There is employed, that's EMR. Friend means FND. Father means FTH. Also grandparents or some manager, mother. The difference, the bunch of value here. Also there's some unknown use U and K. So that is used for the relationship. That's defined by the 0063 table. Another is the address, okay, address field. In fact, the address field that contains the address of the next of kin associated party. Multiple addresses are allowed in this field, but the many address must be sent in the first sequence. If the many address is not sent, then the repeat delimiter must be sent in the first sequence. So this is the address field. Another field for the kin is the job title. Job title is just the contains the title of the next of kin associated parties at the place of employment. Okay. If the contact role is the patient's employee, the field contains the title of the patient at the place of the employment. Also, we have the job code and the class. This field just contains the employee's job code and the employee classification used for the next of kin associated parties at the place of employment. This kind of values is provided by the use-defined table 0327. We can check it again to see what this value means here. Okay. In fact, this law suggests the value defined. That means can be defined by the specific users, or can be by the computer to generate some code here. So that's the field for the NK1